Well, good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Taylor Sills. I'm your Executive Director at the Georgia Cotton Commission. I just want to say thank you to all our sponsors and everyone else who's come out today. This is the second year we've done this event here in Statesboro, and it's we couldn't do it without interest and without industry support. So thank you for that. As we start all our presentations with a brief breakdown of how we spend that dollar bill you give us. As you can see, the biggest part is and will continue to be 42% of our budget this year goes back into research and extension efforts with the university. That relationship is so important to us. I know we have our interim assistant dean for extension, Dr. Coulong, here somewhere. There he is. And all the other extension people, whether you're a specialist or an agent or anything like that, please stand so we can thank you for all you do for us. Now, Philip mentioned the being a part of Southern Cotton Growers and National Cotton Council. That industry support to those organizations is also a big part of our budget. But one thing, apparently I'm skipping ahead. Here's a list of the research we're doing for 2024 and 2025. As you can see, this all added together is a little over $1.4 million. It goes back to support the work in cotton at the university, to support all our specialists, and researchers, and technicians, and grad students. You have a whole army of people that get up every day with the main interest of what can I do to support the industry today. We'll touch a little bit on that later. I think this thing is going to be slow today. This is a list of the projects we're conducting in 2024, and these cover the gamut of different disciplines and subject matters that our university extension personnel and researchers cover. Things from new cover cropping systems to general economics and things like that that we're looking at from a research perspective. And one thing I want to touch on that you've heard a lot from us about is the U.S. Cotton Trust Protocol. This is the industry's sustainability platform. They have a booth that I believe is right outside where we're going to have lunch in a little bit. Chaz Holt, who's their Director of Field Operations, and Marion Finley, who's the Southeastern Enrollment Coordinator, are there manning that booth. If you have questions about the first part of that program, please go get signed up, ask questions. We hope you'll consider that. But now the second tier of the payments for that are now you can go get signed up for those to receive a little additional financial support for being a part of the protocol. For some of these practice changes and things that you have been doing, and they're here to help you and get signed up and ask questions. Now, I didn't touch on promotion and education, but I will now if my slide will advance, or I'll just talk. I skipped it. I think we're doing some really cool stuff. We've been doing some cool stuff with promotion. We've been trying to get ads to directly to the consumers. We want to see those ads. We have that capability now. But where we're really doing some neat stuff, in my opinion, is in the area of education. Over the last year, Caroline Gentry on our staff has been working with Georgia Public Broadcasting's education program to develop curriculum for school teachers programming that match the standards that school teachers have to hit in their classrooms that discusses cotton programming. This year we're working with UGA's Ag Ed program to develop standard-based elementary school Ag Ed curriculum that focuses on cotton, which is, we've had this new elementary Ag program for a handful of years now, but there's never been anything commodity specific in it. So we're going to work with those people at UGA to help develop that curriculum. This is some of the stuff that she's been doing with UGA. They call these Camp GPBs. And this is something that a teacher can do in their classroom, whether they have a smart board or something like that, or if they're unplugged. They have these lesson plans that are developed that meet those standards that the teachers have to hit, and have them easily accessible to them in a way that they understand that comes from their peers in the education space. Now, one thing I guess I'm going to kind of bounce around today more than usual, but one thing I want to mention is, for a couple of years now, we've had a voluntary standard on round module wrap. There's been a lot of issues, as Gary may mention in a little bit. When we meet overseas with our with our mill customers. They talk about this little yellow and pink plastic. And what are we going to do about it? So the council asked a group of engineers to study the effectiveness of the different round module covers on the market. And so for the last year, we've had the Tama Plus yellow and pink, and this year we have 2 new products that are joining them on that approved list, and those are SK Cotton Wrap Premium Blue and the Blue Sapphire Wrap from the Langston companies. I think there are some other products that are currently going through the evaluation process on that, and as we learn about them, we'll let you know about them in the fall when we do that postcard that we send out. Well, why does this matter? I had a grower come up to me at a production meeting last year, said at the time it was 500 bales for the whole Southeast, or the lower Southeast. 500 bales is a drop in the bucket. It's not about those 500 bales. It's about the ones that don't get caught in the classing office. Because that's just one little sample from the bale. That plastic could be anywhere in there. But if you look, last year the pink and the yellow were the only approved products on the list. So that's we estimate that to be 85 or 86% of the market on plastic last year. But then when you take out what we think the black vegetable mulch and things like that, and trash bags, what we assume is the calls from module wrap. The yellow and the pink only represented 60% to 2/3 of the calls. That's a big difference in what we estimate the market actually is. That tells me that some of these products are not quite up to snuff. So we would encourage you to look at the ones on the list because it's one of those things, it's not a problem until it's a problem, right? But we don't want it to be a problem. So I just want to present that to you today. A couple market things. I know this thing will not back up if it can help it. That we want to think about is demand. We've heard all about demand over the last year or so. Consumer spending is down. We've got wars on 2 fronts across the world. The price of our competition is surprisingly low. We have weather issues, and we have Brazil. Now, Brazil, you hear, we talk a lot about wanting to support farmers in other parts of the world, but I present to you that Brazil is not our friend. They are not our colleague. They've been expanding cotton production rapidly, supposedly tearing down the rainforest to do so. They consistently sell cotton at a 3 to 5% discount to us. Their inflation is significantly higher than here. In one year they had 30+% inflation, if I remember correctly. And their producers are incentivized to ship cotton and ship cotton quickly. They don't have some of the government programs we have, marketing loan, things like that. So they do not. The Brazilian producer does not get anything until that cotton hits a ship. And so that's a problem for us, in my opinion. And they're now starting to develop industry organizations like what we have in the United States. And that's why we have groups like Cotton Council International. Cotton Council International has field agents all across the world that go to mills to promote not just using cotton, but using U.S. produced cotton. We've had producers from Georgia go overseas to meet with these mills. Matt Coley, for example, went to Sri Lanka last year to meet with a group of mill executives there. And just this week, on Monday and Sunday, we had a group of mill executives from Turkey here to learn about what makes U.S. cotton production unique. And they're going to be in the United States all week. And we couldn't do that without support of you all, because we're a part of this program now as well. So what they do is really neat. I mentioned the demand thing. What we've learned over the last couple of years is that of the bulk commodities, cotton is probably the most inelastic of them. I studied ag econ in college. Sometimes I speak in ag econ terms. All of our organizations are promoting the use of cotton, and particularly U.S. cotton, but we can all do better. And we got to start with ourselves, because we go to meetings and we hear people fuss about cotton prices, and I look at them and they're decked out head to toe in polyester, and I just can't stand it. It drives me crazy. But if you can't promote it to yourself, who can you promote it to? Anybody watch the hot dog eating contest this year? Did y'all not watch it because Joey Chestnut wasn't in it? Does anybody know why he didn't get asked to be in it? Because he had a sponsorship deal with Beyond Meat. How many of you in the room are cattle producers? Y'all think fond of Beyond Meat? Then why do you think so fondly of polyester? Just want to mention that to you. If you're a cotton producer and you're a cattle producer, if you're a dairyman, would you drink Coffee Mate? And why would you wear polyester? So what the end goal of all our promotions, whether it's the Cotton Commission or anything else, is to tighten that elasticity on these commodities. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned on yet is the Cotton Board. They have these cotton and coffee calls. Once a month, they're on Zoom. They start at 8:30, and they last 45 minutes to an hour. And they do a really good job of doing a deep dive on a particular topic that's affecting the industry. These are the calls for the rest of the year and the dates. If you scan that QR code, you can get signed up for them. And that's all I have for you. I want to tell you that we talked like the concept of hope came up. And we've got a lot of issues affecting our industry right now, whether they're production focused, policy focused, or economic. We've got a lot of concerns. I think y'all all agree with it. Now, I don't have all the answers to them, but I can tell you we'll all be better off if we stick together. We've got a lot of good organizations that allow us an avenue to build consensus to get a lot of things done. And what we need to do is communicate and stick together, and we'll all come out of this on the other end. So with that being said, is Dr. Hand here? He's got while we get his slides pulled up, we'll do a couple door prize drawings.